Ladies and gentlemen, when I go home after work, I generally cement about 300 things to 500 other things. And then after that, I keep doing it for 33 years.
Some days you wake up and you just want a glass of orange juice. But other days you might wake up and decide that you want to spend the rest of your life building something you saw in a dream out of whatever materials you're able to get a hold of. If that's the case, then you just might be a one-man building crew. It's not enough to build something purely on your own to be a one-man building crew. You also have to have a unique vision and the incredible patience to slave away for years to make that vision realized. It's also a common trait amongst these kinds of individuals for them to have absolutely no formal training in the necessary skills for building, at least in the start, as well as for them to have the kind of focus and tenacity that would put an ant with obsessive-compulsive disorder to shame. Take Justo Gallego Martinez, for example. He has only ever been a farmer or a monk, and it was not long after tuberculosis forced him to quit the monastic life that he began his great work. In 1961, Justo prayed to the Virgin Mary that if he recovered from his tuberculosis, then he would build a shrine in her honor. If you spent 48 years on a monument to a woman you've never met, it might be a bit creepy, but in this case it is a rather inspiring act of faith. Though not always strictly a one-man building crew, as Justo did get some help from some cousins once or twice, he is still pretty incredible given that he has built the church entirely using recycled materials and without the approval of anyone, not even the Catholic Church. However, because of that, it's entirely likely that his church will be pulled down as soon as he dies in 84. Who's to say exactly how much longer Justo has? But an uncertain future hasn't stopped Justo, and it also didn't stop Simon Radia. Now, I don't have a picture of him handy, but that's sort of fitting given that Simon Radia is something of a mystery wrapped in an enigma wrapped in an Italian immigrant. What's known for sure is that after several years of traveling and working in many professions, none of them architectural, Radia began his great work within the Watts district of Los Angeles in 1921. Made mostly from concrete, broken bottles, and other found objects, the towers took Radia 33 years to build. Soon after finishing, he just walked away, moving to Martinez, California, until dying in 1965. The towers have been adopted by the city and can be seen in good condition to this day. Radia also found life after death, thanks to his having been included in the cover of Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. But as far as I'm concerned, there is just a little too much humility with the works of Justo and Radia. Yes, it's sheer egomania that pushes Ferdinand Chevelle to the top slot. He lived from 1834 all the way up to 1924, and he spent a good portion of that long life building his ideal palace. Starting in April of 1879, the story goes that Chevelle tripped on a stone and found the shape of the stone inspiring. Thus began 33 years, with the first 2 decades needed just for the outer walls, collecting stones along his route and working at night. The decorations incorporate a grab bag of inspirations from the Bible to Hindu mythology to whatever shaped rocks he found on any given day. Chevelle quite rightly wanted to be buried in his ideal palace. However, when he discovered that would be illegal by French law, he simply lived long enough to spend another 8 years building his own mausoleum in much the same manner. Let me repeat, the man built his own monument / place of final rest by himself out of things he found while working his day job. I don't know about you, but I reckon that the odds of any of us building our own monument out of staplers and Microsoft Excel files are about as slim as Chevelle's corpse must be by now. 1 year after the mausoleum was completed, the postman promptly perished. Chevelle might not have ended up being featured on the Beatles cover, however, not long before his death, he received great compliments on his works from none other than Pablo Picasso, and in 1969 both of his works were declared cultural landmarks and have received official protection ever since. Well, I don't know about you guys, but I gotta say, this review has actually left me feeling like a underachiever. You know what? Screw this web show bullshit. I'm gonna devote the rest of my life to building my own ideal palace entirely out of the most commonly found item at my day job.
Well, I mean, sure, wrecking crews and building crews, these guys are pretty cool, but me, I'm a specialist. I'm a watching crew. Watching and waiting crew. Waiting and touching myself crew. And running from the cops crew.
Starting in 1834 and ending in 1924, and a good portion of that life was spent honking like a fuck honk 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 honk.